What's up, guys? Welcome to the Matt Matters podcast with Derving and Nate. Today we're going to cover some pretty interesting topics, I think. Just discussing different training partners, different training with people of different skill levels, whether, the benefits of training with lower skilled people and equal skill, stuff like that. Should be a pretty interesting episode.
Yes, sir. That's good things that we can learn from partners, because being training with the same partner all the time, it can get monotonous, and actually it make you like stagnant in your game. As far as
Mm-hmm.
like you can do the same move all the time, and then once you go with somebody else, you don't like the tempo is gonna be the same, so it's gonna be like it's not gonna be able to advance your game.
Yeah,
And if at a certain point you might become more defensive, so your offense might not develop as much in jiu-jitsu.
mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree with that. I think that has been one nice thing, like when you're training with like a bigger gym. Uh, There's been a couple points in my life where I've been able to do that, and when you can train with people who give you different looks, it is so nice. When you train with the same people, like you can improve, but it's hard to develop defenses to new games. So like when you go into competition and you find somebody who doesn't roll like anybody you've rolled before, you got to come up with new stuff on the fly, and that's usually not ideal.
Yeah, especially if your muscle memory is not there. You know what you want
Mm-hmm.
to do, but by the time you want to do it, that the move is gone.
Yep. Yep.
The thing that also applies in career job careers. As far as
Mm.
you being stagnant, just having to do the same thing, repetitive jobs like every day, instead of like learning from new people or learning for example, like people, the subordinates that you want to have your ear on the ground. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the saying, even the shepherd has to smell like a sheep sometimes, because you have to be among sheep to be able to know be among them to
Right.
see what it's like.
That's interesting. I mean, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does apply. I mean, yeah, because like yeah, you could get really specialized if you stay in one place and do the same thing. But a lot of times there are new ideas. Well, I mean, there's always new ideas coming through, and then it's hard to learn those things if you're staying in the same spot, I guess.
Yeah. The new technique, new technology, and
Mm-hmm.
also this other part of the game that you want to develop to be able to make the next position as well. For example, you're like in a certain position and you're pretty good, for example, inventory and be able to like demand things like that, but you don't know so
Mm-hmm.
much about the marketing aspect, in which is like really heavy nowadays in business.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to stay afloat, you don't want to be want to be ahead of the competition when it comes to marketing, because also you keep your customers coming in.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Um, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, and then just like in jiu-jitsu, like in certain moves you don't actually do until you actually like a different level. For example, like little wrist locks, but like for example, other one like leg locks, other like more difficult moves that are hard to perform.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do certain more like typical like vanilla armbar, vanilla guillotine, vanilla triangle.
True. Yes.
You have vanilla game. But if you
Yes.
know how to do like other moves, like be able to incorporate them, for example, like the armbar incorporate to a choke and other things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to improve your game. And one way you can do that is if you always go with somebody with lower belt, they have a certain basic understanding, or they have understanding of the not necessarily basic, but it's what the fundamentals
Yeah.
of the game in jiu-jitsu. They are able to develop. You're able to work on your moves and be able to attack those like submissions at the same time. That's how you get better than them. And then when you go with people that are better than you are, for example, going against a learner, you have a complete defense on that one.
Right.
It's hardly you can go offense on that guy.
True. Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to go offense on that guy,
He
but
just
most of
waits for
the
you to make a mistake. Yeah.
yeah, he's the human sloth. To make a mistake and you're stuck there.
Yeah, no, you'll regret that for sure. That, yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. I will say, I do think, uh, training with, training with, lesser skilled people can have its benefits in that, it's easier to try new things. Like if you saw a move done somewhere, you can try it on them. And I mean, their defense, they're not going to shut it down before you even get started. Um, so you might be able to, develop a little bit more of a setup for it. See how people walk into it naturally. And then, I mean, obviously, ideally, you test that out on people at your skill level once you get a basic understanding of it. But I think there can be some benefit there.
Yeah. And these also like one thing, it reduces the aspect of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to hit those reps and it builds confidence, especially somebody who coming after bad loss. You want to
Yep.
build confidence is a big thing in any sport. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have somebody high performance, you have to build their confidence. You wanna break them down to be able to get those reps in to the point of not getting the reps until you get it right, but getting every rep until you don't get it wrong. But also
Right.
you have to build up that confidence because there's a point of diminishing return. You want to keep a good balance on that. If they're able to hit those moves, have the confidence to be able to hit those moves with somebody that's a lower, as far as a lower ability than them, they'll be able to see those openings when they go against somebody else. They just have to have that little bit of confidence to know that the opening is there.
Yeah.
So when they go with somebody at their level, that they know that they can hit the move. It's a
Right.
matter of timing it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the opening is smaller, but it's still there. Yeah.
Correct.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, and so I guess there's kind of multiple aspects to it. There's the training with, lesser skilled people where you can try new skills and kind of develop them a little bit. Then rolling with people who are your skill level, you get a little bit of defense, but you also get to try these moves that you've been experimenting with. And then there's like higher belts that you're learning a lot more defense.
Correct. What you learn from every skill level, you can learn, right?
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
For example, the lower level, you can learn and you can teach it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can, just as you can learn how to those moves, you can hit them. At the same time, you can teach them how to defend it. Next
Yep.
time, don't be getting caught in the same move all the time. Hey man, this is what I got you with. This is how you defend it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get used to hitting the move, so be able to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people are saying, as you are just going at it, just be able to learn, like, hey man, what did I do wrong here? What did I do there? And then if somebody defending, like, hey man, what can I do so I won't
Yeah.
get jacked by
Yep.
that all the time?
I mean, that's definitely for sure. Like, uh, it's hard not to experience that. I mean, you find a move that works and you start doing it over and over and over again. And eventually somebody's going to get tired of that and they're going to study up and figure out what they need to do to stop it, which then forces you to move on to either a different technique that flows into it or a different variation of the same technique.
The one thing I like to do is learning how to defend move with attacks. One thing
Mm-hmm.
I hate with passion, even though I have short legs, is the lockdown. I hate the lockdown.
Yeah.
Ever since Sack blew my knee, my right knee, I was like, every time I get in the lockdown, I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
somebody else. I'm not getting in the lockdown ever again.
No, I don't blame you there. Yeah, something about blowing out your knee would be pretty traumatizing, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like one of those experiences of sticking your finger in a power outlet. Don't do it again.
Yes. Yeah. Nope, not doing that. Yeah.
Do you know?
So, do you feel people going for that? What do you do when you feel people going for that? Do you shut it down immediately? Are you pretty confident that you can do that, or?
I usually bring my foot towards me instead of leaving
Yep.
hanging for the
Mm-hmm.
lockdown. If
Yep.
I do get stuck in there, I want to make sure I get double unders. I
Mm-hmm.
get and I just sit back, and then I stand up and get my heel on the ground and stand up and push the knees down. So
Ah,
what happened
okay.
to the shin as I stand up, and they just split up the knees, just ripping
Yeah. Yeah.
like a kind of
Interesting.
like a bear trap. So that's what I'm doing. So if they, for example, they have the lockdown, so it's right here. So as soon as I stand up, their legs are like this, and then as I the knees open, then they just their own knees are just ripping.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can get behind, they can get away from the mats under them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for them to skip out of there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Don't do that to me again. Another way is, I can't remember another way is, some people jump over to the other side.
Jump over to the other side
So they have a
in
lockdown.
lockdown.
So instead of kind of like giving the back,
Mm-hmm.
but they go negative. You know how you go negative on the half guard. So somebody has you long. So somebody has your half guard. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of facing, then you face the legs.
Yes. Yes.
So you go negative the other way. So you go jump over to the other side. So you kind of go into that leg lock entry because the legs are tied up
Oh.
together
Mm-hmm. Yep.
to one leg.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
So going to what's the saddle from there
But yes, I believe so. Yes.
because your legs already in their leg with this goes lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So the leg that's on the outside just jump over a high leg over and get behind the other knee that's on the other side, and
Mm-hmm.
the side leg is already tangled up. One leg over, the other under.
Dang. Huh. I might have
Welcome,
to try that.
welcome to Foxville, bitch. You just gave me your leg and both of your legs. The thing also, Chad told me I used to go for lockdown a lot because I
Mm-hmm.
used to go for electric chair and all the stuff from there. If you have a lockdown, both of your legs are tangled on one leg. One, it's just like it defeats the purpose of just trying to
Mm-hmm.
use your defense. You guys just taking you used to like losing real estate with the lockdown.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's some people that could do it very well, though. I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, it is a 2-on-1, but that's a lot of times in jiu-jitsu. That's not. I mean, that's kind of what you go for. There's a lot of
Mhm.
2-on-1, arm grabs. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's very controlling.
Yeah. Also, like kind of like helps you get your hips under somebody with
Yes.
the lockdown because getting
Mm-hmm.
that knee up.
I've for sure used it for that. Yeah, because I like deep half, so I've kind of
Mhm.
used that and transitioned into the deep half with it, just
Mhm.
because I can lift people up a little bit with that kind of a lockdown. So
I like to go for the knee bar from there instead of go for a lockdown.
okay, yeah.
Instead of like no the knee bar like traditional, but going like my ankles around their ankle and my hands around their hip, and they
Ah,
just
yes. Mm-hmm.
knee bar.
Yep.
And from there, if I don't get it, they get the knee on the mat. I just go for my single. I just get behind them.
Mm-hmm.
You see
Those
one
are
like
those are nice as like a almost a scare. It seems like not super often that you hit it, but it is enough to scare people. Like they have to answer it.
yeah, they
Um,
can just hang there
yeah.
because some
No,
people like
I think
they want to sprawl back and sprawl back. You get the knee bar.
yeah. Yep. Well, that was a bit of a hint in there.
Yeah,
Good one though.
but is there a sweep there
Um,
too of the knee bar? Because the leg
off the
straight,
knee.
if I'm able to catch the other leg, deep half on the hook,
Mhm.
have the hip on the side, just roll over,
Okay. Yeah.
roll under to get a sweep.
Yep. I think I can picture what you're talking about there. I usually, yeah, preferred method for me is don't don't get that far into somebody's guard. I don't really like getting caught in lockdown either. So
Mm-hmm.
usually I go for like usually like Toriando passing or a half guard. I mean, I do half guard pass,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as I get past the sooner that I get past the legs, the better. Not much of a leg locker personally.
Yeah. For some reason, I want to go to a lot of side control.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of side control, pass guard, side
Yep.
control.
I feel like I feel like that's one of the positions with the most options.
Yes.
Like even more than like mount. Mount is good for control, but especially for me, like I don't know, maybe I just haven't developed my technique enough, but I feel like being a smaller guy, I tend to mount people less because if they're much bigger than me, they can just throw me off. Like
Your
it
knees don't
doesn't
touch the man. My knees don't touch
right,
the man.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah,
what's the point of the mount?
yeah.
The whole point of the mount for me to make contact with the man. If I
Right.
make contact with, that's no mount.
Yep.
I'm just
It's very
standing over
true.
here. My femur is not that long. So like, what's the point of going to mount? At this point,
Yep.
you just go to S mount or something else.
Yeah,
Because
it's very true.
the traditional mount is not gonna work.
Yep. Now I much prefer like Neon Belly is great. Love that
Mm-hmm.
one. I obviously side control is great. North South I really like. Um, especially on guys that really like to use their legs. North South is phenomenal because it kind of takes that out of the equation.
Yeah. As far as
Unless
you can
they're
be from the
incredibly
legs.
flexible, huh?
As far as you can be from the leg.
Exactly. Yep. But yeah, and it kind of allows me to focus all of my weight and pressure on the neck and arm area, and all they have to fight me is really their arms. So I mean, that's to me that's a good use of energy.
Yeah. The only way I like to go mount, I like to go high. Like my knees almost on the
Mm-hmm.
armpits.
Mm-hmm.
Try to go to their back from there. I like to get
Yep.
like almost like mother's milk, and from
Mm-hmm.
there you just go to their back.
Yep. For sure. That definitely. Yep. Give them a little bit of a smother. Try to get them to turn a little bit on their own, and then
Yeah,
go from there.
yeah. I go out or use the gift wrap
Yep.
to get it back.
Yep.
I like to also I like to tap people out with a gift wrap.
Oh yeah.
I do it with a gift wrap by it's kind of like a Aussie S mount on the side and a gift wrap.
Okay.
So when you lean that way, try to like kind of like a boy and arrow, but it's not really. I don't have the leg, so I'm bringing
Okay.
them up. They just want to stay down. Okay, stay down. They want me to take their bag. Eventually, they'll come up with the gift
Yeah.
wrap and just take their
Okay.
bag
That's a good one.
because there's not much they can do from there.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Very true. I have like, if I can get them on their side at all, just like grabbing the head and honestly sitting them up essentially into my lap, to take the back works super well. But
You
yeah,
know, like a pillow.
yep.
Use your leg
Pillow.
like a pillow.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's trying to
There's
think.
different options you can use for lower belts and higher belts. You feel froggy.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah. Um, definitely for like sweeps, especially. I feel like I developed on lower belts and then worked my way up. Um, just because their balance isn't as good, and that's a huge help because you get to feel how somebody's body moves, and then you know when somebody's balance is off in a more exaggerated way when it's somebody new, and then you work your way up, and then somebody whose balance is much better, you can still kind of feel like, okay, I know he's close to the edge of where he's going to be as far as where his weight's distributed. And,
So because we go higher belt, you have to do 2 and 3 moves before you can actually
right.
hit them on balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know you're trying to take them, and their body very shifted
Yes.
that way where you're trying to defend it. I learned how to when I first started rolling was with I had to learn how to get off bottom was with lurch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Black belt, 6'6", large, heavyweight. So it doesn't matter if I try sweeping, his leg was still touching the ground. His other than the ground. So like, what the
That is
fuck
so frustrating. Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing here, man? Yeah, man.
Yeah. You get them where you think they're gonna be, and they just move their leg out, and it's like I
Oh yeah.
I can't even like.
And
That's
then he would go
especially
north south.
frustrating.
And north south, what?
Yes,
How am I supposed to do?
that's
He's like,
true.
I'm gonna throw my legs and catch him.
Oh yeah. No, that's especially frustrating when they're long enough so that you can't move your leg to take out one of their legs that they're using for support. Just my leg doesn't reach. What do I do now?
Yeah.
But that is one reason I like the deep half like I do, is because it works. You can get underneath them, and you don't necessarily have to be at the end of their leg to do it.
You
You're
control the hips
at their
the whole
hips.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one learn when I went to college in wrestling. I had to drop weight was because of that. Because I'm trying to take people down. I lift them
Wow.
and the legs were still touching the ground. It's like, yeah, I had to drop weight. I
Yes.
don't know weight class. There's no freaking way to take somebody down if I try to elevate one of their legs above my head and then still touching the ground. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely, yeah, I can definitely see having to, uh, I feel like even I would have to think about cutting weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different beast. I mean, but now it's a different school of thought, wrestling, because they have they focus, like, for example, um Ben Askren wrestling school, Penn State, they focus more on technique than they do on cutting weights. It's not a thing.
Hmm.
If you focus, like, spend more time on technique that you do on cutting weight, like, you'll get better at wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I know there's been quite a bit of, uh, it seems like there's been a lot of changes to try to reduce, uh, the cutting weight aspect, which to me, I think makes sense for the health of the competitors, because it's definitely not healthy. Um, I feel like a lot of that's very traditional, though. It's almost like a rite of passage kind of deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, the sport itself is also, well, for jiu-jitsu, I can see it. For other sports, for example, like MMA, wrestling, they're like high pace, and you're already like getting your work in already.
mm,
So it's like you actually burn a candle both ends if you're trying to cut weight. Because you're already, it's not like you're gonna be a lazy 165 pounder wrestling, because you will be like banana season, like you're that way because you made it the whole season. It's
mhm,
hard, like it's gonna be a rough season.
mm,
The sport itself is going to demand you a lot of conditioning itself.
yeah, yeah, that's interesting.
Because in jiu-jitsu, some matches they're slow, they're just passing and stuff like that.
Right,
But other
that's
ones are
true.
like they're like fast
Yep.
pace. Like MMA, they're also like fast pace because you have different. For example, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, MMA. They're like MMA. I mean, like jiu-jitsu and wrestling. They're like 2-dimensional, and like MMA is like 4-dimensional because you have
Right.
like different aspects that you have to take consideration.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt there. It is interesting. I mean, that. Yeah. I don't know how guys like Gaethje do it without. He doesn't really cut. I don't know if he does. Does he just not cut anything, or is he?
Gaethje,
I don't know
I'm
how
not
that
sure.
works.
I'm not sure if he cuts away. I don't know if he has troublemaker, but also he trains in Utah high altitude.
Mm, okay. Yep. I thought I had heard that Gaethje didn't cut weight, but um, it's hard to imagine because a lot of these guys they're big dudes, cutting down.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, like for example, Pereira, he was a 185.
yeah,
He works
Yeah.
around 230, cutting down to
Hmm.
185. Crazy.
Yeah. It is. It is.
That was Rumble Johnson. Rumble Johnson used to work with 230. Used to fight for 170.
He walks at 230.
Yeah. 205. People are like, how the fuck did he make 170? And they say like he was actually his height. You can tell, see his height different when he cut weight. So much
Really?
weight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's cutting bone mass.
Yeah. I don't know what he was doing, but rest in peace, Rumble Johnson.
Yeah.
But
That's
he used to work around 230.
yeah.
He fought Arlovsky heavyweight and broke Arlovsky's jaw. Yeah.
Mm. Dang. I didn't. I don't know. It's hard to even fathom. I don't know. I don't know how you get any energy after cutting that much weight. You know what I mean?
Especially nowadays, because back in the day, they used to have IV
Hmm.
for recovering.
Yeah.
Good to hydrate faster. But, well, man, MMA is not as bad, but wrestling, man. Sometimes you have to make wait 2 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
NCAA is like nationals 3 days.
When you do that, do they typically they must not try to regain like back up to full weight the first time they cut, correct?
No, because you have to make weight the next day.
Yeah.
At least 1 pound allowance
Okay. Yeah.
the second day.
So you're probably drinking enough water to survive at that point, right? And then
Yeah, I think some of them they only have 1 hour between the weigh-in and the match.
yeah. Well, it's hard
Yeah,
to believe that that gains you anything. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like they got to be so dead after that.
yeah,
And get some little guy who's perfectly good to go. I don't know. It seems like they do all right against somebody who's just completely dehydrated. Only have
yeah.
an hour to
You have a
recover.
rough match. I give it was a 133-pounder for Penn State. He lost his first match in nationals. He wrestled back like 7 or 8 matches to place third place.
Oh,
That's how rough wrestling back is.
geez,
Just to place third. The other wrestler win 8 times.
8 times. Dang, some competition right there.
Yeah. You have to
Mm.
have the grip because this guy he used to wrestle for instead he used to call it the Wasteland Tournament. Wrestlebacks
Okay.
in consolation. Because me, it's a dog. For example, in Olympics, they don't have wrestlebacks like that. You lose if your guy that you lose against loses, both of you are out. But if the guy that
Mhm.
you lost against, he wins, you have to wrestle against the guy that he beat. And then if you won, you wrestle for third, fourth place. But in NCAA style, it's not like that. Even if you lost in semis, I think you had like two more matches to place third.
Really, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it varies a lot, but how many matches are they doing in a day for this typically? I mean, if you're wrestling back for 8 matches, is that over 2 days?
It's 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
Yeah. Start Thursday, wrestle all day Friday, and this more Saturday morning is the consolation, like the medal
Mm.
matches, and Saturday night is the championship. The top 8 is All American.
Top 8. Okay.
But is I think it's last year they started pigtail, so they have a 30. Instead of having 32-man bracket, they have an extra man they brought in. So
Really?
the 32nd person rank goes against pigtail. One of the whoever wins out of there goes against the number 1 seed.
Really?
Yeah, so you have to wrestle your way into the tournament
Yeah.
if you're in the pigtail.
Interesting. I wonder why would you do that? Just to make it interesting?
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. I wonder how many pigtails have come through and like actually won it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He just messes somebody else's bracket. That's what they're
Yeah.
for. Just wreak havoc.
Right.
Or
Yep.
sometimes they
Yep.
bring in there for sometimes they bring him there as an alternate, but sometimes they have somebody who's like high rank. Because I remember, I think it's Palacio State, their wrestler. I can't remember what weight
Mhm.
class is 141, something like that. 133. He was sixth in the nation, like a week or two before nationals. He got skin. I think he got staff, was able to compete in nationals. So
Dang.
for that, because they lost that person, they still had to fill the bracket, so they bring a pigtail. So those are the people
Okay.
in the bracket that move up. So bring a third another person to bring him up. So still have a full bracket in there.
Well, that I could see that would be pretty helpful. Trying to think. Yeah. You said like Ben Askren is trying this new focus on technique method.
Oh yeah, he's big on technique. I think he was able to like a guy that was weight cutter like for no. I mean, you saw it when he was in the like MMA. He looked like us. He had the body of a substitute teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Was not
Um,
exactly impressive.
no, no, he wasn't. But he will ragdoll you because he like
Yeah.
his technique. His
Yep.
nickname was known as Funky because he was really like he liked to scramble a lot,
Yeah.
which is good for jiu-jitsu. There's a different opening.
hmm
I seen one video where he went against Marcelo. He's like just because he wants to learn jiu-jitsu.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so was it jujitsu rules,
Mm-hmm.
or is he
No, he was just
okay?
practice, like learn how, like just a regular role. It was like a
Okay.
competition use.
hmm
And the man he was trying to learn from him because he was ready for MMA. At the time, I think he was in Bellator,
Okay. hmm
and he was just ragdolling everybody there. That's why they let him go from Bellator. He's too boring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in Bellator. They let him go. He was a champion at 170. They let him go because he was just too boring, and he went to one.
Interesting. Huh.
He beat Lima, I think. I think it was the last guy he beat in Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
And then in one championship, he was there. Did the same thing, just ragdoll him.
Yeah.
Him and Dana White, they hate each other. For some reason, Dana White brought him with the deal of Demetrius Johnson, which we haven't thought. Shout out to Demetrius Johnson. He retired. Mighty Mouse,
Oh, yeah.
one of the GOATs.
Yep. For sure. Just yeah. I wonder. So is he just retiring from MMA? I wonder if he's still. I mean, he must still be doing jujitsu.
Probably because he can still probably do it.
Yeah. It's
He's
not
one man.
too
He was.
taxing.
Mm-hmm. And man, he was his coach. Took under his
Okay.
belt.
Mm-hmm.
But he,
Well, it's cool to see him go into the
mm-hmm.
does really
Yeah.
well there in the gi, which is rare for the MMA guys.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to talk about, like, touch today is like about emotional,
Ah, yes.
what you call emotional
Mm.
endurance, like
Yeah.
fitness. Because, for example, he was in IBJJF. You see when he beat that guy, he was like an Asian guy. He went to him and console him. He's like, man, it's gonna be okay, man. You're gonna do great in life. It's just another match. You're gonna do okay. And
Hmm.
he's consoling him like, this is just a match. You know, don't have to take it so heavy as this loss.
Mm-hmm. I
And
haven't seen that.
it was his channel, but I briefly saw it. This consoling because I mean, coming from somebody that's a champion, that he had won so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard his story, like growing up his childhood?
No.
He's raised by his mom. I don't think he know his dad until like he was older. I think it was like 2018 or something like that, where he met his dad. But he was abused, like physically abused by his father. And like
Hmm.
his mom was trying to make me ends meet. I think his stepdad was in the military, so he's like really strict. And he was like, he didn't know until he was older that his mom was actually deaf. She can hear.
Really?
And then like he would like overcome. He said he had resentment towards his stepfather, and like we were have terrible kids to to begin with. But he like physically abusive towards them.
Hmm.
He learned from that, and also his current wife say she saved him, and they emotionally. Sometimes when you have things going on in your life, it which put things to perspective of a bigger scheme of things. Having the game of a match is not as heavy as all the things that are more difficult in life.
Right.
For example, the people that are having more difficult things going on. Not the guy that I can think of is Dustin Poirier. He was talking about this kid that he was shout out. He was a kid that was fighting cancer, like the fight that he signed up for. But compared to other people, they go through other battles that they fight in which they didn't sign up for them, but they still had to fight it
Hmm.
regardless. And they
Hmm.
come back out of it. They still had to fight it just to make another day.
Yeah. I mean, it's very true. Are you saying like those events help prepare them, like Demetrius Johnson for fighting, or what are you saying as far as
Now, those things help him put things to perspective as far as like
yes.
a more difficult. For example, how difficult life was for him growing up.
Hmm.
He was able to overcome those things. He was able to become a champion. Eventually, he's able to um, console other people in their losses. For example, in a jiu-jitsu match, to
Hmm.
that guy that he just beat, even though he just beat him, like, man, it's gonna be okay, man. You're gonna do great in life. This is gonna work out for you. You just a match. It doesn't mean you're a loser.
Hmm.
Just because you lost a match doesn't make you a loser.
Yeah.
You had to move on with life.
Mm.
You do great. And just because for some reason, sometimes we just whenever we don't do well on certain things, we just label ourselves badly as a loser, things like that. When
Yeah.
you were in school, whenever you did bad in a quiz, doesn't mean you failed the whole class.
Right.
You still have to learn more and be able to have another test and the other things, be able to get better at it.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah. That's that's interesting. I mean, I guess it's like everything where it's like a muscle. You can grow it, or you can let it, get smaller. Because I'm picturing, seems like a lot of times people who do really well in things like the fight sports grew up with hard lives. Seems like that's
Yes.
a pretty common trend.
Yeah.
But then you also see the champions who, like, they go undefeated, they get to be a champion, they defend their title or whatever, but then they get a loss and it's like they can't recover.
For example, Ronda Rousey.
That's exactly, yeah. She was going through my head a lot for that one.
Yeah. Because she was going well, you say the same thing happened to her whenever she was in her judo. She was bronze medalist in the Olympics.
Mm.
And after that, she just went into another thing, do MMA.
Was that possible? Yeah.
Although she has had adversity. Remember what happened to her dad?
What? Remind me what happened. I know
He committed suicide.
that's right. Yeah. She had a lot go on
Her mom
there.
was rough. Her mom was a
Yeah.
judo, also like a judo practitioner.
Hmm.
Her mom was also her coach. And she said her mom used to put hot sauce in her water during competition.
Why?
Doggy, the world, man.
Dang.
Get her fired up for competition, I guess.
Yeah. I'll have to try that. No, I'm not gonna try that.
Next time, just put hot sauce in Mike's glasses.
Yeah.
Go out there
See if he loses now.
like blood sport. Ah,
Even his water fights back.
yeah. But yeah, she said her mom used to do that, like just to, I don't know why, just like to get her like out of her game. But she said whenever she'll feel good, like you think you won't feel good the day of your matches, like whenever the tournament, they'll finally think you're gonna feel good. No, hell no. Go God. Her
Mm.
mom was like rough on her.
Yeah.
So her mom was, I think her mom was a doctor or something. I can't remember her, but
Wow.
she, as far as like her, what she studied, I
Mm.
think she's a professor, her mom.
I mean, she definitely went far with that.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, that, talking about the emotional part, like, do you think also every hero or champion, they have to go through some adversity?
Hmm.
For example, Rocky, he has to go through adversity to become the Rocky that he is. Amila Lori, the girl that she won gold, I think she's 20, 21-year old. She won cadet, junior, senior, world gold medalist. Then she won Olympics, win gold. But also she lost her dad when she was young, and she, like 3 years ago, she lost her brother. Somebody broke into the house.
Mm.
She bring like this heavy, it's like heavy ship and a
Yep.
heavy toll to carry on you, on your shoulder. Um, get the goal, the ecstasy goal. But also like the fall is gonna be hard. Not everybody gets there. There's this girl, I think Burkhardt, that's the last name, Gina Burkhardt. She was in the army. She was trying to make the Olympic team for 2021. She lost in the final. I think the week before, her man passed away, and she was trying to make the Olympic team for her mom, and she didn't make it. She did 2 out of 3. It was that I think she lost that third match, and you can see just sorry mom, but feels
Oh,
bad for her.
yeah. I cannot imagine.
Yeah,
Mm.
but having that emotional endurance, it's not endurance, but I can't remember what I call it before. Emotional fitness, perhaps,
Yep.
because you have like it's not really tough skin. You have to be sometimes you have to compartmentalize certain things
Hmm.
when you go like to perform. Another example is Jordan Burroughs. He was a guy that he was an Olympic team. Um, he had, well, he's a wrestler, but he had a rough when it left to battle when it comes to Olympics. His first year was 2012, Olympic team, one goal. 2016, he lost against a Juice-Up Russian. He didn't even place.
Mm.
2021, they make the team for um for Olympics in Japan, and
Wow.
then this year trying to make the Olympics. Uh, he was talking in one of the interviews that he this last 6 years have been rough because he didn't make the Olympic team this year either. He lost against uh, a good wrestler in Penn State, and he lost in Penn State, and people, the fans in there, they're treating him bad. Like they saying, "Your career's over. You are done." And after he
Wow.
gave all so much, he's a good ambassador for the sport of wrestling. He had been like us, but he's the only wrestler that I know has been into the Joe Rogan experience. He like the United States is seen as a enemy from Iran, but meanwhile, the people from Iran respect him because he's such a good wrestler.
Hmm.
And that he like did so much for the sport, and then that way he was treated during the Olympic trials. He's like, man, he felt like he hated at one point. He hated wrestling so bad. And
Mm.
he said that regardless how much he hated wrestling, he still went and showed up for practice because eventually he will have to make the decision to compete. So he had to go over there, still have the mentality of working, getting better. Otherwise, if he stopped doing it, his body was going to make the decision for him. Kind of like if you use it, you lose it.
Right.
So he kept practicing, and eventually he went to the world team trials last weekend. He made the team. He's in the world team
Wow.
again.
Yeah. That's some serious resolve. That's yeah. To keep going through that is pretty crazy. I wonder if there's I don't know exactly how to put it. I wonder if there's a way to strengthen that or like work it out essentially. Because I'm thinking like if you're on a losing streak, your confidence is down. Um, is there a way to like artificially get your confidence back? I wonder if it I wonder if it'd be enough just to have some like just killer workouts, where I feel like that sort of thing helps, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the options would be for that.
I'm not sure to do that because certain people have different ways having like a fuel to the fire of for certain things.
Hmm.
For example, have you ever heard a lot of people that they lose the fear that not being afraid to die or being one that when you randomly see somebody really scary is when they have a reason to live. Those are the scary people. So
Hmm.
they dig into something, they have to grab on something that they do not want to let go.
Hmm.
Because everybody can follow the ball and swim for their own, but they want to be those that want to hang on to. For example, somebody that was in a kind of like an up and down performance in the UFC was Bronx Oliveira. He was gonna do it. Then he had his daughter. He's like, "Oh, I had to do well because my daughter's gonna be watching."
Hmm.
And then you see him just skyrocketing, like most finishes in the UFC, like in the lightweight division.
Yeah.
Just had to hone, dig deep and find something. Some people rely on religion. Other people they had to rely on something they have
Yeah.
like hang on to, yeah, for them to perform better.
Definitely. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Just yeah, have your reason well defined would be, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We say that like kind of like repurpose
Hmm.
your why.
Yep.
Have
Yeah.
you
I
heard
mean,
Buster Douglas?
who's that?
Buster Douglas. He was the first guy to be Mike Tyson.
Okay.
There's a guy that he talks about Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas, he was heavyweight. He was like a really big performer, but he's supposed to be a tune-up fight for Mike Tyson. For some reason, I think it was after he came out of jail.
Hmm.
And he was just supposed to be just cheap, being fed to the lion.
Yeah.
And his mom would always say that he was going to be the guy to be Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He's going to be like that guy that was going to be like, she would tell everybody. And a few weeks before he fought Mike Tyson, his mom died.
I do remember that story. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then he was just getting beat up by Mike Tyson. And then he had to make a decision.
Yep.
You die with your mom, I'll live as a champion with Mike Tyson.
Mm.
So he had to repurpose his wife because at first he wanted to do it. Seems like he wanted to do it for himself to be a champion, but then like because of my mom, he got
Hmm.
a purpose.
Hmm.
Dig deep. It feels like you have like find some people find the extra gear somewhere else.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Hmm. Wow. No, I think that's definitely that's deep, but it's yeah, that's accurate, I think.
Yeah, because you know how much you can go until you have like that extra fuel.
Right. Right.
Because you always have that down. You can use it as a fuel.
Hmm.
But then, for example, like somebody has like out of anger, it's like narrow minded.
Hmm.
Or somebody has like a wide, has like a broad perspective of how to attack things from a different angle.
Hmm.
I've seen how things can go,
Hmm.
and I'm willing to accept the results, and it will be okay. I'm willing to
Yeah.
accept, like, for example, Rashad Evans talks about that his match before he fought Chuck Liddell. This is Chuck Liddell right after he was like almost at his prime.
Hmm.
And he was like, man, I'm afraid. Like he was like, he can go sleep. So he went to Randy Couture. Hey man, like he told me like how to like do, but how do I beat Chuck Liddell? Because like, I mean, I can sleep. Like I'm supposed to fight tomorrow. It's like, man, it's okay, man. Whether you win or lose tomorrow, the sun's gonna come up. Your family's still gonna love you, and your life's gonna go on, and you're gonna become a good person.
Hmm.
So just be comfortable with the results. I
Yep.
become friends with the worst outcomes. That's what I told him.
Mm.
Once you're become friends with the worst outcome, that you're okay with them, that you won't lose sleep because of it, then you do better. You
Mm.
don't want to be comfortable being a loser, but just know there's a possibility and know that you can do okay whether you win or lose. Just as you are happy when you're a winner or feel relief, That's what should be the same way when you lose.
Mm. But yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. I feel like the ability to find that is something that sets champions apart. Um,
Yeah, because everybody trains to win. Nobody trains to lose.
yep.
Nobody tells you like what are you supposed to do when you lose.
hmm Yep. Because I mean, yeah, it is from personal experience. It's super easy to get down on yourself when you don't do as well as you should, or um, yeah, it's so easy to get down.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult like to like feel better like afterwards. Like man, eventually I will get better if I just keep getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps and just like just go out there and do what I know what to do. Don't be
Yep.
afraid of failing on what I don't know, like what can go wrong. If I
Mm-hmm.
focus on is going to go wrong, exactly what's going to happen. It will go wrong
Yeah.
because I
Well,
for it.
yeah, and that's really that's what's going to happen if you keep pushing your limits, and that's the way to grow. Um, I think, yeah, that's definitely something I've tried to do as well. Uh, like in the face of failure, is realize that you know, I am in a place where I wanted to be several years back. You know what I mean? So like I've grown to a certain point, and I'm just trying to stretch my limits farther. And yeah, it's hard, but you know, you're growing quite clear.
What would you say to a 60-year-old Nate?
To what?
What would you say to a 16-year-old Nate?
Honestly, it's just like, yeah, I would think try stuff. Yeah, because I mean, even the failures end up being good stories a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah, because even so the eating shit, man, like
Right. Yeah.
it like good story.
Yep.
Yeah, but also you learn something out of it.
For sure. Yep. Gotta keep growing, but also realize that you have grown in the process. So don't get too discouraged about that.
Yeah, like is that it's always still like comparison is a thief of joy. Because you see like so many things like going so well for others. Also, other people are going through their own shit too, but we
It's
don't
true.
see that part. So you have to just focus on getting better. And also, like for example, like the part of focusing on what can go wrong. How you notice that like, during certain roles, afraid like this guy is good at this, and he's like, oh man, I'm not gonna get caught of this, and man, just like that within the first minute
As it, uh, like you think they're gonna catch you in something, and that's
in
what they do.
practice. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if
Yep.
you the next round, the next role, then you do that person. If you go and you attacks and you attack first, you're like, oh, that person was able to get that
hmm
because they're on the defense instead of me trying to be like a idiot just standing on the railroad tracks waiting for the train to hit me. Step out of the
Yes.
railroad tracks, man.
hmm
Move on, you life. Move on.
Yep. No, that's very true. I mean, there's been plenty of times. Uh, yeah, even a couple competitions where I was going against a guy that I knew was a leg locker, and um, like I knew he was going to go for that, so I tried to keep him from doing it, and then like they got underneath me, and then it was like I just watched them. Like I completely forgot about rolling. I just watched them, grab my ankle and rip it. Um, yeah, like, and afterwards I realized like, wow, I had an opening. I could have kept, fighting that, but in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, I was kind of already resolved that, like, he's gonna get me in this. So,
Mm-hmm. Bam. It's so much just like that. Like for sometimes you gotta be a contrarian. Like, oh, this fucker's gonna give me this. I gotta fucking get it up, man. I can
yeah,
let it get there, man. I can let it
yeah,
get there. I can get it there to. In order for it to get to finish move 4 moves, I have to stop in at least a two, 1 or 2.
yep,
See
yep.
able to get there. At least
Shut it down. Shut it down before it happens.
at the very least, you can use frustrate him.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Kind of like the roles where you're going against that higher belt and like you know the move they want to get, and so you're trying really hard to keep them from doing that, and a lot of times it turns into just survive. But
Yeah.
you do learn a lot even in those situations.
Yeah. Have you ever used those dice, that Jiu-Jitsu dice?
Mm-mm.
So like Jiu-Jitsu dice, so you have like, they have like different moves. So each of you have a dice. So you throw it.
Yeah.
So the one I throw is the move that my opponent has to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to defend. And then the
Yep.
one that he throws is the one I have to do. Those are
So I
interesting.
didn't do that with dice. Matt Leonard actually did that with us during one of our, well, a couple of our practices. He
Yeah.
would just go up to us and tell us what each of us had to go for in our roles, and that's what we had to go for.
Yeah.
Um,
Freaking wasn't my worker said, yeah, a triangle. Fuck. It's the way to get a
yeah, yeah. I remember I got that with it was a bigger dude that I was going against, and I was like, ooh, that's gonna be rough. But
It's gonna be a
I think
scissors
I ended
triangle.
up getting on top of him in like a mounted triangle attempt, and my legs still weren't long enough, so I was like trying to force him around, and it just wasn't working.
You tell us what invitation you need.
Yep,
Damn. Those are rough ones.
yep.
Like, man, then you some move this hard to like some people.
It is true, yeah. But honestly, that was a lot of fun, just because it's like it's makes you think. It really does.
Uh-huh.
It forces you out of your comfortable moves and forces you to think about how to do something different.
Yeah. It's kind of like we all know the words, but you have to learn how to use it.
Yeah,
It's about like a
yeah,
rap battle. So then you have to like, what's
right.
the word is gonna be this, right? So you have to put
Hmm.
it in a rap. It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
some things
valid.
that don't apply.
What's that?
It's certain things, some moves don't apply. It's just like certain words don't apply.
Hmm.
The results may vary. Like
Yeah,
I know you have to use it on certain people. It depends.
yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, when you're trying these new moves, you're going against one of the somebody who's not already a little bit more skilled than you, and you're gonna be in a rough spot.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Because if you're trying to throw something, you're like, oh man, like a flying triangle. You be power ball into the ground. Before you know it,
Yeah. Yep. You're
get
gonna
the
end
yeah,
up hurting.
yeah. I learned early. Flying triangles, flying arm bars are no fun if you miss it.
No.
If you hit it, it's fun, but if you don't,
Yeah. If you hit it, it's really cool. If you don't, that's not. That's terrible. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Consequences are very high, severe, I should say.
yeah. Have you seen it? Remind me of Trampus Jackson versus Ricardo Rona. Remember that match where Ricardo Rona
Nope.
got Rampage Jackson in the triangle, and Rampage Jackson just picks him up.
Yes. Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Yep.
boom, drop him with the will of the world. That's what it reminds me of. Just flying triangles.
Hmm. Oh, he flew
Oh yeah.
down.
Oh yeah. And what went through the ring. I think he was part of the Brazilian top team, Ricardo Rona.
Okay.
Because they had two like school. I think there was shooter box and the Brazilian top team.
Hmm.
Because he didn't get well with Rampage Jackson and Shogun Rua and them.
He didn't
Because
get
they're
along
shooter
with him.
box. No.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
remember he fought Shogun Rua in LA a couple of times.
Yeah.
Their prime. The real pride.
Yeah. You got anything else on the either training with higher or lower skill levels or the emotional endurance?
As far as the emotional thing, just like things are gonna be rough and just don't lose hope, whether in jiu-jitsu in life.
Yep.
Um you might not learn things from people that came before you, as far as
Yep.
like your family or your coaches. But there's another way you can learn those things, whether you're moved or like, for example, being loved by other people, or you can get those from other people at the same time. But just
Mhm.
don't lose hope, regardless. Um, bad things will happen, and but you can always overcome. You'll be better because of it. It's unfortunate you have to go to there to learn those lessons, because life sometimes tests you before you can learn those lessons. And but just keep going. Just like
Yep.
in jiu-jitsu, there are growing pains, getting stuck in an armbar,
Hmm.
willing to tap out and give up that position to
Yep.
get to another roll, another round, and learn a way to either attack or be submitted. Same thing applies in life. Just
Hmm.
keep going. Don't lose hope to get better.
Hmm.
Life will get better and you will get as well.
Yep. Really, that uh, makes me think of like transitioning up through the belts. Um, how as a white belt, you learn so quickly, you see progress, it's great. And that's probably why so many people drop out at blue belt, is because at blue belt, your learning flows dramatically because you got to learn the finer details now. You kind of know the broad aspects, but now you have to slow down and learn the finer details, and it's harder to see the progress and harder to keep going because you don't feel like you're getting better necessarily. At least not like you did when you were a white belt, when you're learning all the time and you're like, all these moves are new and, all of this, but you get to blue belt and then it's harder to see the progress, but it's still there. It's just really hard to see. That's honestly probably a huge reason as to why um, it seems like most people drop out of jiu-jitsu at blue belt. They don't make it past that. But if you stick with it through blue belt and you become a purple belt, it seems like once you get there, you're in it. You're really gonna do it. I mean, there's no stopping at that point, and it's probably because at that point you understand that there's gonna be highs and lows in your learning, and you're gonna plateau at certain points, and then you will learn a lot at other.
Would you say that applies like in life? That's what like white belt. When you were like a preschool, when you were like a little kid, like, oh my God, he's picking up like a pen, he's writing. Oh, he's learning how to crawl and walk. Like everybody's clapping for you. You see those like milestones that you're able to reach them that are easier to accomplish. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you go into elementary school, you start learning how like the alphabet. And like they might be like those you are improving, but doesn't seem like you're improving as much. You go to
Mm-hmm.
middle school, to your purple belt, then you high school, brown belt, you college, you black belt, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just in life sitting, you just things to get progressively harder. Doesn't mean like some places might feel, in some aspects might feel like, for example, certain subjects, a certain move might feel like you're stuck in there. You don't feel like you're advancing, but you just keep going at it. You have to go through them to be able to get better at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
no, I would agree with that. I mean, some of the most, yeah, it can be very frustrating in life is uh, making a lot of progress, and then all of a sudden you don't feel like you're getting anywhere.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, you will eventually. Just take some time.
yeah.
Um,
Because the positive reinforcement is not as often as you used when you're in the lower belt.
hmm. Yep.
I don't know about you,
Gotta.
but I was 7 year white belt.
I was I was a 2-year white belt, and then blue belt. I was, let's see, 2016 to 22. So 6 years, maybe 7,
Mm-hmm.
um, something like that. So I mean, I was there a while, and that was kind of frustrating because that was not only am I dealing with the normal plateaus from blue belt, but also I was like moving around a lot, so I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
at the same gym for very long, and I did 3 or 4 different gyms during the blue belt phases, so I mean it's a bit frustrating, but um, I don't know. It was never really a question of whether I was going to quit. I knew I was coming back. I knew I was, even if I had to take a break, I'm always going to get back into it. There was no doubt. So the belt will just come with time. But
Yeah. It's that for simple. I know you know Echo Charles. Like he's the producer for Jocko.
mm,
Yeah, at a certain point, like you work. When he was brown belt, he's like, don't focus so much on the belt. Just focus on getting better. The belt will come.
100%. Yeah. Well, and I would much rather be a really good blue belt uh, and not get promoted than be a blue belt that was promoted too fast, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever belt you're at, promoted too quickly to the next belt and just get smashed by everybody. I mean, it kind of happens
Mm-hmm.
when you move up to the next level, but it's much better to be slow to get promoted than fast, in my opinion.
Yeah. Will that be considered like? Well, it's not considered sandbagging, will it? If you take too long to get promoted.
I think that's kind of. I mean, if you're going to what's that?
Well, not sandbagging will be somebody going the opposite way. Somebody like blue belt will actually compete in a white belt tournament. That would
Yeah,
be considered what sandbagging.
right, for sure. Um,
Not somebody that has a blue belt, competitive blue belt.
what's that?
It's not somebody like competed blue belt that's a blue belt.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's times when people are promoted so slow that it might be considered sandbagging, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's always a hard call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the coach's fault. It's not really that competitor, will it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the coach like, hey, me.
yeah. Well, I actually remember Danaher said he had a conversation with Gordon Ryan's girl, Sony, um,
Mm-hmm.
about her promotion, I think to brown belt. And he told her, you have a target on your back. You're the girlfriend of arguably the greatest grappler or the greatest jiu-jitsu guy in history. So you have a target on your back. So you're gonna have to be beating black belts before I promote you to brown belt. And I mean, I think she's at brown belt right now.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
she eventually got it, but yeah, he explained like how or why he has a higher standard for her than he would necessarily for others.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to me that seems that's appropriate. I mean, that's not a
Just
problem. That
prepare her
doesn't
for
seem
her
exactly.
or the
Yep.
world that's out there. Will you consider demoralizing whenever you see like celebrity getting up? For example, like Tom Brady's wife, she has a purple belt.
Yeah.
Will you consider demoralizing?
Yeah. I think that's
Or her coach is their boyfriend?
yeah. Uh, Demi Lovato as well. She's got at least a blue,
Yeah.
and like I read articles about them, and it's like they train alone with their
Is it
coach.
Higan Machado?
Huh?
I think he got the blue belt on the Higan. John Jokes
No,
Machado's brother.
really? I didn't realize that. Mm.
I think he does that. I think Ashton Kutcher does as well. I think he has a
Hmm.
brown belt. Ashton Kutcher. But he rolled with Craig Jones.
Hmm.
Does not look like a brown belt. Does not roll like a brown
Yeah,
belt.
yeah. Well, he rolled with Craig Jones.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like you roll against him, not many guys are gonna look like they're where they
I
should
think
be.
that the fundamentals, like for example, like framing and
Mm.
things like that, you will see
Yeah.
it there. You don't see like none of that. Like
Hmm.
I see a
Okay.
brown belt. You don't
Yeah.
know those things.
Yeah.
If for some reason I think was it him or somebody else that roll against RJ Gracie, Mother
Hmm.
Goats.
Yep.
And he looked like he was at that level. Also, Hoji, Danaher, he said he considered him the GOAT.
Really?
Yeah, Danaher, like Joe asking, who you consider the greatest of all time? Say, Hoji Gracie. Because his game is all fundamental and all finish.
Yep. That's interesting.
But so
Yeah, no.
but some celebrities they do give respect. Like for example, Tom Hardy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, well, he's going out competing. He's proving he's at the level he needs to be, or at the level he says he is. Um, but I think that's how you gain the respect is that you're not training alone in a room with one other person. Not to say their coaches don't know when they get to be a blue belt, but they just haven't faced any adversity yet. So,
Yeah,
and kind of like what we said in the beginning, it's nice to train with different people with different looks because you might like if you train with one black belt from white belt, but they're the only person you ever roll with, there's a good chance you're going to go against a purple belt who's just going to smash you because he's got a different game. Um, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's you might get
So David Lovato got a blue belt because she did 51 shrimps instead of 50 in five
yeah,
hours.
she went above and beyond.
I think she was dating Luke Rojo when she had a blue belt.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Although I know the guy that it was impressive that he got his blue belt was 51 or something. That was Anthony Bourdain. He was competing too.
I mean, it's
Coincidentally,
cool to see.
coincidentally, he was able to skip out his last show.
What's that?
He was able to skip out his last show.
Who is this? Sorry.
Anthony Bourdain,
Bird. Recognize that name?
the chef.
Um, I'd have to look him up. I don't know.
He hung himself.
Oh, no. Yes. Canceled.
He was able to get out of that one.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, he was a blue belt before he retired.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I have respect. It's cool to see celebrities who are doing it, but to me, if you're not like proving yourself in any kind of even a classroom situation, then I don't know. It's just so untested. It's not really, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Might as well just go take karate or take your yoga or
For
Pilates
sure.
class.
Yep. Yep.
Instead of
I
taking
agree.
just because it's the new trend doing Jiu-Jitsu
Mm-hmm.
and then to your
Yep.
so a guy that I also like respect is Mario Lopez. I think he's a
Yeah.
purple belt,
Okay.
but I think he trains also a lot of boxing. He's known to like train a lot of boxing.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Because he was younger.
The, huh. I did not realize.
He remember his purple belt and look at his Instagram. He's a purple belt. I think he's a Gracie Baja.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's got his
Yep.
purple
Purple
belt
belt.
2022. Why does Gracie Baja get so much flack?
I think because they're so traditional, right?
I'm not sure.
Aren't they super traditional?
They can only wear their geese
Yeah.
brand. And some people say that they are like the Planet Fitness of Jiu-Jitsu. They're like
Mm.
commercialized.
Yeah.
They can easily to advance. That's what I heard. Even though our section that used to be a Gracie Baja before.
I think I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Some of the banner still has like Gracie Baja in there, but I'm not sure why they get so much flag.
I mean, the Gracie Academy offers online blue belts, which is
Yeah,
pretty ridiculous.
yeah.
No, yeah, that
I mean here, combat athletic. In order for you to get your like blue belt, you had like a 7 hour class.
wow. No, I did not.
There's some people that they get the blue belt from combat athletic. They talk about I think 1 hour is written test, and they had like to do some running. They had to do like some like conditioning, and they had like after that they had to do the moves like basically like almost like you're getting your concealed carry license. That's how
Wow.
long the class is for you to get to your next belt. And then eventually you pass, then you get your belt.
Hmm. Wow. That's
For some
something.
reason, have you ever combat jiu-jitsu?
Combat jiu-jitsu?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not combat jiu-jitsu. It's guerrilla jiu-jitsu. That's what I'm thinking about.
Guerrilla jiu-jitsu.
Guerrilla
Okay.
jiu-jitsu. That's what it reminds
No.
me of. Dave Camarillo. That's what I remember. He was the black belt jiu-jitsu coach for AKA American Kickboxing Academy.
Okay.
For some reason, it reminds me of that. They like base a lot of conditioning into their jiu-jitsu. And when I first started learning about jiu-jitsu, he was categorized top and bottom game in 3 positions most of the time, and you build 3 positions out of those, 3 move out of those 3 positions. So for bottom, you have open guard, close guard, half guard. Top, you have back take, mount, side control.
Hmm.
And it's like 3 moves of that. That's how you basic start. And
Hmm.
then most of it's conditioning.
Hmm. Interesting. So like the belt levels were based off of conditioning as well, or just the class structure?
Yeah, this class structure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I remember him. He was he coached jump fetch a lot. Remember when he was AKA as one of the contenders. But in the different schools, they have different school of thought. Some people they get their promotion based off how much you pay a month, how many
Yeah.
classes you
True.
show up,
Yep.
or how much marketing you do for the school.
Hmm.
And other ones you had to sell your ass off
Yep.
and until your belt turns color instead of you get a new belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn a new belt, get a new belt.
Yeah. No, that is interesting. I mean, first school I went to, like I tested for blue. Um, Mike and I actually we did it together, but we had to show a certain number of techniques. It ended with a Shark Tank basically, but is it interesting? I don't know. That's not my favorite way of doing it anymore. I not necessarily like a surprise promotion, but like okay, like I've seen you do the work now. Now here's your belt. You know, I kind of like that method a little bit better because it seems like I guess the test is to prove that you know your stuff, but the coach has seen you do the work, and really it should be the coach's decision to promote you, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's kind of like a certain way, like a merit system,
Yeah.
like so like it's not like a it's not like a external, but it's like intuitive, like a internal. So you
Hmm.
gotta make sure because I've read about in a book, I can't remember which book it was, in which the reason why they do blood donations for free is because they don't want to make it like you pay people to do it because you want to do it out of the kindness of your heart.
Hmm.
Because the point you want to give up blood is to help other people. Because you
Yeah.
make it like the people always want to get on a treadmill, they want to get more money and stuff like that. You'll
Hmm.
never be able to pay enough money for people to come in there to just bring more blood.
Yeah.
Same thing when you want to get better. If you want to get better at something, you want to get better at something because you want to know it because somebody else is showing you that
Hmm.
you're getting better at something.
See that?
Then with that, do you wanna close this episode?
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Definitely we covered a lot of stuff today. I mean, it's been quite a variety of topics. We did cover what we said we would. But I hope you all enjoyed that. Definitely give us a like, give us a follow. Uh, find us on all of them: the Spotify, the YouTube, the Amazon, the Apple podcast. Um, give us a listen, give us a follow. We really appreciate your support. Um, follow us on Instagram. Uh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys again. See you later. Stop it now. Man, I think my house phone is dying. That's